And now comes the final thing. The soul beholds God, but the aim of the mystic is to be one with its beloved. I and the Father are one. I was challenged yesterday as to whether in the Gospels there is such a text. I looked it up, John 10:30. I and the Father are one. This realization. Well, Halaj, the great Sufi mystic, describes the situation this way. Well, I'll begin with Ramakrishna, who says, when you behold God, you are not God. There is a pane of glass between. The soul beholds its object, but the goal is to be one with that. How can we break through? How can we remove that barrier? And then, bang, soul and God, beyond pairs of opposites. Halaj says the situation is like that of a moth seeing at night a lantern. And it wants to get to the flame, but the glass keeps it out. And it batters itself all night long. And then goes to its friends in the morning and tells them what a wonderful thing it has just seen. And they say, you don't look the better for it. And this is the condition of the yogi, the ascetic, knocking himself to pieces to get through. Then it goes back the next night, and by luck or device, does break through, and for an instant has achieved its goal. It is the flame. And that instant is an eternal instant beyond time and space. And that is the goal here. So we remove the barrier, and bang, Sahastrara, the serpent, becomes one with the lotus at the crown of the head, the 1,000-petaled lotus. Sahasrara means 1,000-petaled. Here it is. But in the center, all we see are two footprints. These are the footprints of Vishnu that are to be worshipped. Why do we have footprints here? We thought we had broken through. Well, we're still talking. That's why. The symbols. And the words can act as barriers. We can get stuck with the footprints. Or we can pass through. And there's a text that appears both in the in Lao Tzu's work and in the Upanishads, in the Tao Te Ching, and in, I think, the Kena Upanishad, that those who know do not speak, and those who speak do not know. That's a hard word for one giving a lecture, but that's a warning here that we've got to go past the footprints. Chakras 4, 5, 6, and 7. 9th century, a stone cross in Northern Ireland. 14th century BC in Egypt, 1, 2, 3. Those who have not got above 3 are still animals. And so at the weighing of the heart against the feather, if the heart is not lighter than the feather, or as light as the feather, which represents spirit, angels, all that floating up there, it is going to mean that the body and soul are to be consumed by this monster. His nose is right there between chakras 3 and 4. However, if the spiritual has won, then it is Tot, who's the counterpart of Hermes, here represented as the baboon that greets the morning sun with howling, and he is in charge of the other chakras, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1400 BC. And so now we come to the final problem. What is this thing here between chakra 6 and chakra 7? At 6, pairs of opposites. From Brahma down to the blade of grass, all is pair of opposites. Above that, neither you nor God. This is what's called Maya. Maya is, as it were, the womb. And it's from a root ma, that means to measure forth. So she is the one that creates all pairs of opposites, creates both the lingam and the yoni. Beyond that, there is nothing of the kind. And so here's the whole universe as the goddess. We are here. The hell's down there. The heaven's up here. How do you go to hell? By making your ego system harder and harder and harder and being stuck with it. Hell is the place of people stuck with themselves, stuck on themselves. And how do you get to heaven? Open, 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 until finally all is transpersonal. There's the goddess above the 4 gods, Indra, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Maya, Devi, Shakti. Here she is. Here is the consciousness in 2 aspects. One addressed to the world, lingam yoni, the other turned away, the monk who is dead. This figure facing her is called Shiva. See the reborn moon. The one turned away is called Shava. Shava means corpse. Shiva is the god creating the world. The corpses in India, when they're about to be burned, are clothed in a yellow garment. Monks wear the yellow garment, meaning I am a corpse. I have cut off from the world. That's the word Shava, corpse. This is the word Shiva. And we come to Shiva and his Shakti, and there's the E. That's the Ganges, represented as a seminal ejaculation. Shiva and his goddess. Shiva's animal, the bull. There she is, the head of the creator. Triumph over the two aspects of consciousness. And this is the prime one. She cuts off her own head to release you from her bondage. This is the Medusa touch. Medusa is related to this goddess. And so we've gone through the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now if we stay up there, the body drops off. And we are released from life. The ideal, from the point of view of someone interested in life, is to come back to the heart where the two are together. Chakra 4. And there we realize the energy of 3 has functioned at 5, the energy of 2 at 6, the energy of 1 at 7. Inertia. Thus we know how to translate our earthly experience into the spiritual exercise. 3, what we are to conquer is ourselves and our attachment, and go to the war, you might say. And 2, through our human love, we are to experience the radiance of eternity. Here is a Buddha functioning from the heart center, the energy right from the heart center. Here is the Buddha saying no to the tempter. This is the earth-touching posture. But once you have experienced what is to be experienced, watch that hand. Turns around, bestowing boons. And so here's a Japanese representation of the Buddha returning to bestow boons, returning from his austerities to teach. And here we have the Lord of the universe himself bowing to and embracing himself as universe, the goddess. And so that's the lesson of the Kundalini.
The goal, then, of Kundalini Yoga is, in Campbell's words, to translate our earthly experience into a spiritual exercise, to experience the radiance of God in all the forms of the world. Join us next time, when Joe uses the Tibetan Book of the Dead to show how the radiance of God can be experienced even in death.